over here. Put your chair over. Move over a little bit. Fix your arms. There you go. You ready? Here we are for another episode of Talking Sports with the Legend. Tonight's guest is Quinn Sullivan, currently playing for the Philadelphia Union's team. Fire away.
Where are you from?
I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was born and raised in the city.
Did you ever get to play for your grandpa?
Not on a specific team, no. He definitely coached me a bunch of times though.
If anybody wants to know, his grandpa is Larry Sullivan, former coach of Villanova men's team and many of other teams before Quinn was born.
Where did you go to high school? Did you always go to the Union Academy?
So I grew up going to elementary school in Center City, St. Mary Parochial School, Catholic school. And then for 7th and 8th grade, I moved out to the suburbs in Germantown Academy. And then for high school, I transferred to YSC Academy, which is a soccer school affiliated with the Philadelphia Union Academy.
What is your daily schedule like?
So typically in a non-COVID era, I would train in the morning from probably 8:30 to 10, then get showered and changed and go to school from 10:30 to about 3, and then started training again from 3:30 to 5, and then went home, did some schoolwork, ate dinner, and went to bed.
What age did you start playing sports?
I always played like in-house and like at Philly Soccer, I was like probably 3. But when I really started to get serious was for Coach Jack O'Neill's Lighthouse team when I was 4.
Did you play any other sports?
I did. I played baseball for a while, probably until 7th grade. I played baseball.
That was your grandpa, one of his favorite sports, right?
Yes, it was. He taught me pretty much everything about baseball, except the fact that I couldn't hit. So,
well, for those who don't know his grandpa, he was also a great man. He was went in the Vietnam War and got out, and then he was a post office man for years. And like I said, he was a great coach and coached Father Judge High School. I just remember that one. Mm-hmm. One of my rivals. And then he went to Villanova, after that.
Yeah. There's plenty of great stories about Father Judge and Villanova.
Oh God. And your grandpa's got plenty of great stories about everywhere he played.
Yeah.
I love listening to his stories.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of them, not all of them, because there's too many.
Yeah, you'll never hear them all.
Nah, can't.
Not even your grandmom Kathy hears them all. She's been there for it all, though.
Yeah, she has.
How is she doing?
She's great. Yeah, she's still teaching. I had to help her get accustomed to Zoom and online teaching, so that wasn't the easiest one, but I got it done.
Those were the people I felt the worst for, the older teachers that had to conform when they were forced to, and I felt the hardest for them. And thank God they got great grandchildren like you to help them out.
Right.
Do you have a role model?
I've always looked up to my parents and my grandparents. I've loved hearing their stories, and they've always shaped my growth as a player and as a person. Soccer wise, I like to look at Andres Iniesta as my soccer role model, and also David Silva.
You play midfield then, huh?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, they were 2 great midfielders, Steve. The first guy he said played at Barcelona with Messi when Messi was young.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's One of my favorite midfielders of all time, also.
Yeah, he's my favorite. I've always tried to watch him, and I actually got to meet Xavi, which was pretty cool. But
Oh, that Steve.
so,
There you go, Steve. He skipped right to your question. Did you ever meet a superstar athlete? And that's a good one. Let's hear that story.
so it was 2015, and at that time I was probably 11. No, I was probably 12 at the time. Because it was in the summer. My team for the Philadelphia Union Academy took a trip to Qatar. And believe it or not, it was the second day. And I set my alarm on my phone because I was taking a nap and I was trying to get accustomed to the time. And my alarm didn't go off. And so I woke up late. I missed lunch and someone came and knocked on my door. And while we were waiting in the lobby to go over to lunch, Xavi walked through the door. And I was like, who's that? Because there was a bunch of people around him. And the lady next to me was like, that Xavi. And I was like, oh, I know Xavi. Like, I know all of them. I just didn't recognize his face. So I got a cool picture with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a crazy experience.
Your good buddy Brendan told us about going to Qatar, and he had said he met who did he say he met? Same kind of story. He was in the lobby and he said somebody walked by him, and I said, it's crazy because Steven's interviewed so many people, but it's like that question, he tries to ask it, and a lot of people are like, no. But you guys, even at your young age, because you traveled so much back and forth overseas, that's wonderful that you guys got a chance to meet somebody like that. What was he doing over there, playing or?
Yeah, so he had recently transferred from Barcelona to a team in Qatar. So it was crazy.
That's some money out there, boy. That's the richest country in the world right there,
Yes,
Qatar.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to play for the USA team?
I did not get a chance to play for the national team. I recently, on March last year, I got called into a camp, but because of COVID, it got canceled.
Jeez. So, how is that going to work now? Like, you guys are a full-time union. Obviously, the union will let you guys go if you're requested, but they have like under 16, under 19, correct?
Yeah, they have 17, which is was supposed to be a big year this year.
Right.
However, it was a World Cup year for the U17s, and that got canceled probably in December. So
Jeez.
that was disappointing, really disappointing.
So were you guys going to get invited to that, you and Brendan?
We don't know if we would have gotten invited. It's probably difficult for the USA scouts and everything to pick out a team because they haven't seen anybody in camp.
Right. That's what I was thinking of when you said that right away, because nobody knows about you guys yet, and it's like we do because we've been following the union for years. But it's amazing because some of these kids out in Germany, that kid Hoppy, 17 years old.
Right.
I mean, I never heard of him before, and then he scores 3 games in a row.
Yeah, 5 goals in 3 games.
Man, that's great.
Yeah. But
good luck with that, and obviously keep us up to date. We'd love to hear about that, and I'm sure we'll be following it.
All right, sounds good.
Great.
How far have you traveled for a game or tournament?
So Qatar would be my farthest. I've also traveled to the Netherlands, Belgium, and Brazil. Off the top of my head, I think.
Nice. How are the fields in Belgium?
Belgium, they were pretty nice. I'm pretty sure they were turf, but it was pretty new turf.
Was it winter time or summer, or what was it?
I'm pretty sure it was. That's a good question. I think it was summer.
Because they get pretty cold in the Netherlands and Belgium and all in the winter, like us, right?
Yeah, I think it was summer. I don't put it this way. I don't remember wearing an Under Armour.
There you go.
I'm gonna go with it was summer.
That's something your grandpa would never let anybody wear.
And don't tell him I was wearing one.
Oh, I will not. Secret's safe with me, that's for sure.
All right.
What was the biggest game that you ever played in?
That's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know. I played in some state cup games. Brazil was pretty. I could say Brazil. We played against Sao Paulo FC, which
Wow.
is the biggest club in Brazil. So that was a pretty huge game. We also played against Ajax when we went to the Netherlands.
Nice.
Stuttgart when we went to Qatar, believe it or not.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And Anderlecht we also played against. So those were some big names that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Against,
That's awesome. How did you guys do against those teams?
Ooh.
It's all right.
No. Sao Paulo was 5-1. Stuttgart was 7-2. We lost both games. Anderlecht, I'm not sure. I know that was a close game. I think we won 3-2, if I'm not mistaken.
Because that's the thing, Steve. What Quinn's going through, these kids started at like first grade at their academies.
Oh,
and then,
wow.
in some of these countries, that's what it is. And then they weed out the kids who are, as they get older. See, Quinn's 16 and he's signed by the union. But back in the day, never did anybody sign any pro people at that young, except for overseas and then Brazil and stuff like that, because they want to, mold them into yeah. And that's why when they play teams from other country, these kids are all been playing together, the same team from the time they were 7, 8, 9. These guys come in, like he said, he started at the union in 9th grade. Some of the other kids may have started earlier, but Quinn came on, and then boom, he's playing on the first team.
Yeah, I started at the school in 9th grade, but I was also in the union system for longer than that, probably since I was in like fifth grade.
And how many kids stayed on that squad with you?
Oh, from the first team?
Yeah,
it was me, Brandon, Sean Bett, and that's it. 3 kids.
Right. You understand, Steve? That's like when you go to college and you're in a room with 50 people. Out of them 50 people freshman year, there might be 20 to graduate and the other ones leave or go somewhere else or whatever. And if you're talking about soccer team, that's what happens. The guys that want to make a career and do it and commit to it. So ask him how many hours. He said that's his normal schedule. And how many days a week is that? 5 days a week?
Double trainings was 4 days a week. So we can do 3 times 4 is 12, 15 plus a game on the weekend. So
see, that's a lot of training, and that's why, you got to be dedicated, man. This is what you got to do.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to practice with the union before you made the team?
I did. I got to practice with them 2 or 3 times. They were low on some numbers, and I also got a surprise invite from them as well, which was special then. And now the fact that I made the team is pretty cool.
How tall are you and how much do you weigh?
5'11" and 158.
So when you got there, this is one of the things. I grew up in Kensington, like your grandpa and the whole crew down there, poor Richmond area and all that. So when we played against the older guys, the first thing they used to do would be to go at you and try to knock you off the ball. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about that stuff. Did they do that to you?
At the time, it wasn't like fighting for a spot, we were like, we weren't on the team. We were like guests, I guess you could say.
Right.
So the fact that they knew we weren't there to take their spot, I think it wasn't as serious. But now that I'm on the team,
gonna get real now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm prepared. I know. I mean, it's the same thing for me. All of us are trying to earn a spot and get playing time, so it's gonna be tough in training, and I'm expected to give it back if it's given to me. So.
Yeah, at North Catholic, I played with your Uncle Mike for 1 year, and I shouldn't say I played with him. I was on the team. I was a sophomore, he was a senior, and he was like the player of the year and all. And he was like your height, 5'11", skinny, but he was one of the best people, if not the best person I ever played with that could control a game at midfield, and just he would dribble through the other team. And one game I'll never forget, LaSalle High School.
we won like 7-0, and I got in that game. So I always remember the games I got in. But your Uncle Mike went through everybody and it just pushed it in the goal. Like he didn't even shoot it; he just passed it into the goal. And that was like, and then the coach took him off after that because high school kids don't like that too much. Though they don't take
you'll get kicked definitely.
Yeah, well, he was good at that, missing not getting kicked too.
Missing some tackles.
Yeah, he was. Oh man, he was something else. And I also had the pleasure of playing with your Uncle Dennis his last year at the majors for Danubia. And you talk about a character, boy. Oh, I love your Uncle Dennis.
Yeah,
he was one of my favorites. I saw him January of last year before the COVID. We got together with guys up at Danubia, and oh my God, your Uncle Dennis he's so funny. To this day, every time I see him, he makes me laugh.
Me too.
Oh, he gave it to me though. We played against them the year before. I was a sophomore and I played for UGH. So we went against them, and we didn't know each other, but we knew who each other was. And he knew I played for your grandpa. So they gave it to me, man. They ran me hard. I was small, but I got a little bigger as I got into college. So I was used to it though. Like you said, the guys weren't afraid to take your spot. When I was telling you about growing up in Kensington, we would play in a schoolyard, and we were just playing for fun. But they wanted to make sure you were going to be strong enough that if you wanted to try to make your high school team, well, you got to be tough enough to play against 18, 19-year-olds.
Yeah, on a court with no fouls.
Fouls. You got it. No refs. No refs.
No fouls either.
No, never a foul. Except for when I kicked one of the older guys, then it was a foul.
Always.
What's the most important game you haven't played in?
That's tough. I've been to a couple showcases with a lot of USA scouts and international scouts. There were a couple live stream games which were pretty important. So I don't know. One of the 4 games I mentioned earlier, or possibly we played FC Dallas on a live stream. With a bunch of, that was college recruitment and stuff. So that was a pretty important game in terms of my future. We also played LAFC, the academy teams, on live stream as well.
How'd you do in those games?
We won the FC Dallas game 3-2, and the LAFC game we got crushed 5-1.
How did you and our friend it's Brandon, right? I mean Brendan.
Yeah,
how did you and Brendan do?
It's Brandon.
How did you guys do in the game itself?
We did all right. The LAFC game was not really a game in our hands. Like, we never really had the ball. They were better than us, more technical.
Mm-hmm.
But we brought the fight and the tackling. So, I mean, in that aspect, we were one of the best on our team in terms of the fight and the grit.
You were center half and he was center back?
In the LAFC game, he played 6 actually.
And where did you play?
Defensive. I played as an 8, but it was in the diamond. So there's 2 8s on the outside.
Right. Gotcha.
So he was here and I was on the one
cool.
of the sides.
Oh, cool.
What clubs and organizations have you played for?
I started off at Lighthouse with Coach O'Neill. Then I partially went to Fishtown Hotspurs, and I was playing for both of them at the same time. And then I fully transferred to Fishtown, which was an awesome team, awesome coaches, Bobby Mulvena, Joey Rhett. And then after that, the whole team switched over to Philly Soccer because we needed field space, and they got the portable lights so we could train at night. And then after that, 1 year at Philly Soccer, I switched over to the academy.
Cool. Bobby Mulvaney, he's one of Steven's old cronies from back at the Sion tournament, Steve. He was one of the guys that helped out with that tournament, the soccer tournament and basketball, McCook.
Yeah, he was from down there.
Mhm.
I met him down there. Yeah, I know because he was also wasn't he like helping out at the old lighthouse fields?
He might have been. Yeah, yeah. At Hornet
Now I
Grove.
remember,
Now
yeah.
you remember him?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good guy.
yeah. Awesome.
What position do you play? Did you always play the same position and wear the same number?
So position wise, I play midfield now. I did not always play the same position. I was as a kid, I was pretty versatile, used in a lot of spots. I started off at right back and then went to midfield and played a lot of midfield. And then they put me at striker for a little bit. But essentially, I was kind of just playing midfield anyway. I dropped back a lot. Not always in favor of the coach, but I did what I needed to do. Yeah. So number wise, I've switched around quite a bit. I've started out at number 9, not my favorite number, and then I got number 2, which I stuck with for probably 4 or 5 years. And then as I switched over to the academy, my numbers varied so much year to year. There was no rhyme or reason, and you didn't get to pick.
Right. Did they try to associate your number, like you were saying, or your position kind of thing every game, or
They said they would. They never really did it. It was kind of like whoever started the first game was number. Like if you started the first game at number 8, that was pretty much where you were the rest of the year.
Number wise? Okay.
Because of the sizing and stuff. Like we don't
Right.
have limited jerseys, so it's like
Exactly. That's what I used to say because it was funny back in the old days. They always went, if you looked at the national teams, they went number 1 was the goalie, 2 was the right back, left back, 3. And I used to laugh because I played for a lot of teams and was like, we never did that, man. You
Yeah.
picked your number. And if you wanted number 10 and the other guy had number 10, usually the older guy or the better guy got the 10, with the number he wanted,
right.
High school, that's what it was. In high school, you were given a number. This is your number. Like you said, you had to fit into the shirt.
Right.
You had to stay that way for 3 years, or you had to hope they got a bigger shirt for you.
Exactly.
Did you ever make an all-star team?
All-star team, yeah, I've made a couple. Yeah, I made a couple. We always played at Philly Soccer, which was cool.
The Union, the league you guys play in, do they have like an all-league team and stuff like that, or no?
No, that system didn't really have any of that stuff. No all league. I mean, when you're in the academy system, there's no state team either. So
Yeah. I was always curious about that because I know you guys go do those, you play everybody, but then you eventually have a winner of the academy teams. And I always wondered if they had like an all tournament team and stuff like that because that's where a lot of you guys, these guys are playing overseas started, is one of the academy teams. And you hear that they got signed away, at like 14 to Barcelona or whoever. And it's amazing. And it's great that you guys are getting this opportunity overseas now. It's wonderful. Wonderful.
And what was it like when you got signed?
It was really special. I remember the pictures were awesome, like just the environment. My grandparents were there, my family was there. Brandon and I took pictures together. Having played on the same team our entire lives, it just felt right, like everything we've done leading up to this moment was for this, and we did it together, which was awesome.
That is awesome. That's really cool. I never met Brendan. Oh God, I keep messing up. I'm terrible with names. Brandon.
Yeah.
Right. I never met his father, but he came after me up at the Nubia, and Mr. Stackhouse, Andy Stackhouse, played with me and your grandpapa, and he always told me how good his dad was. And how big of a Liverpool fan he was. So I had to correct your.
Oh, it is.
I had to correct your coach, Jim Curtin. Steven interviewed him last week. I don't know if you saw the interview.
I did. I saw a little bit of it.
It was awesome. And he said something about, it'd be great if Brendan and Quinn go over to play for Man U someday. I said, I'm sorry, I got to cut you off, man. I don't think the Craig family wants him playing at Man U. I said, I think they'd rather him play at Liverpool. And he started laughing. He goes, oh my God, yeah, you're right. He goes, like, it's harder for me to keep up with all those guys who they like and who they don't like. I said, I got to straighten you out because don't say that in front of them, man. They'll quit the team.
Right. Yeah.
Who has to get transferred to the New York Academy.
Did you ever win a championship?
State championships, yeah, we've won a lot with Fishtown. We some indoor state championships we won. Academy wise, no, we didn't.
How far did you ever get in the academy tournament?
So we were Generation Adidas Cup. Let me try and remember. We didn't make the finals. I know that. I think we got knocked out in the first round out of the group stages.
Oh, okay. So you made it through the group stages and then you got knocked out in the first round. That's awesome. I would love to be able to watch stuff like that, because Steven's always looking to stream stuff, and one of his buddies is at Indiana now, and he went through the system, Union Academy, Nick Sessock.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, we watched a couple of his games on the stream
when he was at Pitt.
Yeah, and at Pitt, and he was also at the academy the one time they played. Remember?
Oh yeah.
They played in Dallas for one of them tournaments, and we were able to live stream it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steven talks to Nick all the time, and I'm real good friends with his father, so we're keeping tabs on him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you like better, indoor soccer or outdoor?
Oh, good question, Steve. I like that.
Definitely outdoor now. But as a kid, indoor was so much fun. The no out of bounds rule was always fun because it was like there was never an extra defender. When you grow up, you learn that like the sideline's a defender, and like now that you're in indoor, it's like you can play it off the wall, and like it was just fun to play some tiki-taka stuff. But I definitely say outdoor. I get to show my stamina a little bit, which I enjoy.
Yeah, indoor was big when I was in like high school. Was when they first got big, and then we had our own indoor league and all in the USA. But you only would make it if you got outdoor. But I loved it. I loved playing indoor. That was a great question, Steve, because a lot of guys his age, they stopped playing indoor because of the academy systems, but also because the rest of the world kind of stopped doing it because now they play that futsal, which is they don't have no boards. It's still have out of bounds. It's weird, man. It's
definitely indoor at Fishtown was fun.
Yeah. What'd you play at Newts?
Yeah, Newts.
Yeah, tell him.
Yeah, I played down there a lot.
Steven helped to coach a team, a men's team, and he'd be yelling at the referee, and it was guys that I grew up with. I told my one buddy to give me a yellow card.
Yeah, I remember even there'd be tournaments there, and we'd be sitting on the sideline waiting for our game to come up, and you'd run to the snack stand, at that time it was a classroom, like a kindergarten classroom, and they had a bunch of snacks in there. But you had to run on the field to hop over the thing again just to go to get some snacks.
Oh yeah, those were the days, man. Newt's playground.
You always thought you were super fast.
That was awesome, that place.
Yeah.
Well, it still is there, I guess, but.
Yeah.
What is your favorite food?
Ooh, that's a tough one, man. I mean, I can always go for a steak. I can't turn down a steak if I tried. But pre-game, I enjoy chicken parm. It's a good ratio of everything. You get your carbs and your protein, and it tastes good. So probably between those two, yeah.
What's your favorite song?
Or music.
Or music,
you gotta change that one. Yeah, a lot of people don't have favorite songs anymore.
I mean, pre-game song, I could give you one. Dreams and Nightmares, Meek Mill. If the kid's watching this, please don't go look it up. Not good for kids, but I enjoy listening to it. It gets me pumped. But I like so many different genres. Like I couldn't pick a song out of that genre.
That's Steven's looking for, the pregame stuff. He likes to know because he helps out with the girls' team at Holy Family University, and he likes to get them pumped up before the game. So, Meek Mill, Steve, you got to get that one on there. Yeah, this is an adult program anyway. We don't have many kids watching it, right, Steve? Yeah, all us followers are all over the country, but they're most of them are over 18. All of them are, I guess.
What is your how do you pace the time when you're on the plane?
On the plane, that's a good one. On small trips like Florida or Texas or North Carolina, it could be playing cards. We're usually next to our teammates, so we'll play some cards, some war. Try and sleep. Never really successful at it. But for the long trips, it's definitely some movies on the back of the plane seat, whatever's on there. It's probably something I've already watched before, but I'd watch it again.
So how far is it to Qatar in a plane? I don't know if we asked Brendan.
13 hours.
Now, you couldn't sleep on that either?
Nah, I slept on that one.
Yeah, I'm the same way as you know. And Steven didn't do well sleeping, and we won't tell you how he carried on about somebody not having the airplane not having somebody's music.
Taylor Swift, yeah.
Yeah, Taylor Swift. You told on yourself. He was snapping out because the behind the seat they got all the people you can pick all the music, and they didn't have for some reason they didn't have Taylor Swift. And he was
Taylor Swift.
He was pissed, man. So he had his laptop with him. So he kept trying to put it on, and the lady goes by, the stewardess, and she's saying, "Excuse me, you have to put your laptop away. Your phone. You have to put all devices. You have to turn them off and put away. I want to listen to Taylor Swift." And I'm like, "Oh no, we're gonna get thrown off the plane." Oh God,
that was a fun trip.
That's
meant to go.
Yeah, that was only to Mexico, so but I can't sleep either, and that's what I always said on those 13-hour flights. But you gotta fall asleep sooner or later, I guess. But
yeah, I tried my best to fall asleep, but it's like maybe 20-minute spurts at best.
It's tough, man. You're thinking about everything, and then your ears popping, and I don't know. I'm not a good flyer.
It's easier on the way home though, because you're not always thinking about the tournament.
Yeah, and you're also thinking about getting home and chilling. It's like when you're going somewhere, you're always excited about the game or the vacation, but when you're on the way home, it's like, I can't wait to get home.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you preparing for this upcoming season?
Oh, that's a good one.
I am currently doing a lot of lifting, a lot of running, to stay fit, and my goal for preseason is to be one of the fittest on the team. Really set the standard from the start that I can run all day. I can muscle people and not get pushed off the ball all the time. But I'm also getting lots of touches on the ball too and keeping my technical work up.
So they just announced, did you see it? They just announced the season starting April 3rd, was it?
Yeah, right? April 3rd.
April 3rd. So when does your preseason stuff, when are you supposed to be getting together?
I'm pretty sure it's February 22nd.
Okay. Because when we were talking to Coach Jim last week, they didn't announce it yet, and he said that
I tried to get a good question. I said, "Got come down February 13th."
Yeah. Steven said, he told Steven he's invited down as soon as people are allowed to come to the practices and what have you. So Steven goes, "All right, I want to come on February 13th. That's Steven's birthday." I said to Steven, they might not be training yet on that birthday. So Coach Jim said, "Well, if we are, you can come down, but we'll see." And I said to Steven, "Well, you might not be allowed until after everything's done and over with the COVID before they start letting people visit the facilities." Quinn's getting paid to work there, so he's working. He ain't just playing.
Yeah.
Ain't playing no more. He's got a job.
Nope.
Are you definitely on the Union or
Am I definitely on it?
Yeah, he
on the
means
team this upcoming season?
No. I have to earn my spot on the roster still.
and then if you don't make that, you go to the Union Academy and play on the under 17,
Um,
or you can do your own thing.
I can't play with the under 17s
Oh,
anymore.
you cannot.
I might be able to play with the Union too, but
Okay. That's the team up in
Oh yeah.
Bethlehem.
it was, yeah. Now it's in Chester.
Oh, it's in Chester, and it's called
Yeah.
Union 2. Okay.
It was Bethlehem Steel.
How many
Guys are on each roster.
32-man roster.
32-man roster. Interesting.
I'm pretty
Who
sure.
was your favorite athlete?
He told you that one already. Javi. Remember that one? The midfielder.
My favorite one is Iniesta.
Iniesta, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Javi's the one he met.
Mhm.
They played together at Barcelona, those two guys.
Oh, cool.
How about let's give you this one. Who's your favorite American athlete, any sport?
I mean, Pulisic's awesome because he's American, he's representing. However, I really enjoy watching and like tracking the story of LeBron because, you know, he was hyped up from such a young age, and like the fact that he lived up to the hype is pretty awesome to me.
It is, and it's a good person to go after because if you look at him, how he's still in shape and how dedicated he is, you know he ain't drinking and drugging like a lot of those knuckleheads did back in the 80s and 90s. And I try to tell people, when you're serious about sports and that's your job, you got to commit 100%. And that's why those guys are Tom Brady and him are still playing. And, you know, it's amazing that Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I watched the game yesterday.
Yeah.
He got thrown out for, you know, 2 stupid yellow cards, but he's still in shape and still playing, man. And it's, you know, they love the game.
Right.
How would your teammates describe you off the field?
Let me think. I'd probably say it's awesome because I get to go to school. I got to go to school with my teammates for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably say intelligent, and funny on occasions. Let's go with that.
What would you say biggest strength and weaknesses are?
On the field, I would say my strength is my work ethic, stamina, and like drive and desire. My biggest weakness, I would say that sometimes my decision making on and off the ball could be better, both defense and offense.
That's good criticism of yourself. Not a lot of people can admit that thing, and
you know, at your level where you're playing now, it is, you know, really shows that you do know what to do when you get the ball. But it's good to work on something that you know you can improve on, and that's a tough thing for young, good players / great players to accept. And it's great that you got that attitude. And that's Sullivan, and I guess your dad and grandpa ain't letting you, you know, think you're greater than everybody else.
No.
That's what I loved about your uncle Mike. And you know, when you seen him off the field, you wouldn't know that he was the best player in the league. You know,
Mm-hmm.
very quiet.
Do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I do. I enjoy going to the beach a lot. I enjoy skimboarding. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Yeah.
And I enjoy surfing. But
nice.
I'm not very good at surfing yet. I'm mostly unsuccessful, but I'm trying. I picked it up this year, so.
All right, but the skimboarding, that's kind of like the same, but you're on the, you know, you're on the water / sand, and you're like going across, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta have good balance for that, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to do some tricks now. I've gotten pretty good over the years, but.
All right. Well, look. Let's not do that until your career's over. All right.
Yeah,
I don't want to be reading about you getting hurt on the skimboard.
Yeah, I know.
what motivates you?
What motivates me is just loving what I do, and striving to be the best I can. I'm always looking for like the next goal, the next achievement, which for me is a great motivator because it's always something to look forward to. And like you guys said earlier, like not thinking that you're great and that there's always room for improvement.
Great self-motivation to have. And like I tell everybody, no matter what level you're at, you always want to get to the next level and the next level and the next level. And like your coach Jim said, you know, it'd be great if one day one of these, you know, clubs from across the world calls up and says they want you. Then that's saying that, you know, hey, you know, I made it to that level. Now I got to succeed at that level. And that's why I get amazed by these guys that are playing overseas, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, and Americans, and they're playing, and they're not just sitting the bench, you know, like they used to do back in the day. Right. It's amazing. And it's great that, you know, your generation's getting this opportunity and your guys are taking advantage of it. And that's the main thing.
Right. Yeah.
Do you have a pregame ritual or routine?
I don't. I have things that I try and do. A lot of people have superstitions like left shoe before right shoe, but mine is pretty much try and eat chicken parm the night before and eggs in the morning. And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Well, the last guest we had, we asked her and she said she does her hair the same every game and puts a headband. And you got a nice head of hair, so there you go. You can start putting a headband on before the game. I was laughing.
I can't wear a headband in this family.
I was laughing. The girl goes, I comb my hair the same way, and then I wear, you know, one of them, you know, Nike headbands around. And I was laughing. I said, that's a good one, though. I said, because it does relax you if you're a girl and you got the long hair and you got to put it in a ponytail. I said, that's a good one. I never thought of that, but it was a crazy answer because I said, wow, that's not something a guy would think of, especially somebody like me that doesn't have much hair to comb.
Yeah, I respect all the people that do it. I mean, like that have rituals, but I don't know. I've never really got one.
All right, you don't need no ritual, man. As long as you're as long as you're getting, like you said, keeping in shape and working hard. That's
I have to make sure this is done though. If this hair's not done.
Oh, it's looking good, man. Looking good. I'll tell your grandpa next time I see him.
All right.
I didn't know him when he had hair, so I only knew him one way.
Yeah, neither did I.
You got that right.
What are you like off the field?
What do I like off the field?
What are you like? Like, do you hang out with your family, friends? What it means, like that kind of stuff?
I don't have much free time, so I don't do much. Off the field, it's a lot of schoolwork. So, and then the chance I do like a couple TV shows that I've made family shows. But it's a lot of spending time with family, and doing a lot of homework.
Yeah, and Steven has to remember that a lot of times we're interviewing high school and college guys, and then Steven's like, what do you do during your free time? And they're like, well, I go to school, come home, study, and then I go work out. And then I said, yeah, he ain't got a lot of free time at 16, especially when you're on a professional soccer team trying to make the squad. He's got to bust his hump.
Right.
Do you have any tips for younger soccer players who want to play in high school or college?
Good one.
Yeah. So I think that there's a really beneficial aspect to like playing many sports when you're a kid. I don't think that like at age 5 or 6 that you should be concentrating on one sport. I think that to enjoy the sport that you love, it doesn't have to be soccer, just any level, that you need to experience other sports and really like have an idea of like, I like this, I don't like this about this sport. And then you make a decision when you're like 13, 14. And a bunch of different sports have a lot of like beneficial aspects to the one sport that you're looking for. So there's always a way that you can figure out how basketball relates to soccer, how hockey relates to basketball. Like it's a never ending trail of things that you can learn from other sports. But once you pick that one thing, just dedicate all your free time and all your time to what you love if you really want to make it.
And the last question, if you could have dinner with 3 athletes that could be dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Okay. Definitely Iniesta, because I love him. I love his game. I love watching him so much. And I think that I could get a lot of beneficial tips on. I mean, he was a great player, but he was also a great professional, like off the field as well. So I think getting advice from him would be awesome. I would also like to have dinner with LeBron because of him living up to the hype and what a great overall player he is and his dedication. Last one. Let's not go soccer, basketball. Let's go. I'd go Tiger Woods. I'd like to have dinner with Tiger Woods.
There's another great one.
Yeah, I mean, just his overall journey, and then his fall off, and then getting back into the game, and that just shows how much love he has for the sport. And I think that he'd just be an overall great person to talk to, have dinner with, and just hang out.
Did you watch the tournament when him and his son played together?
I was practicing for some of it, but I did get to see some clips, which was pretty cool.
It was amazing. They showed you them both swinging, and oh my God, man. Unbelievable.
They had the little kid taking the drives.
He's unbelievable, man. This kid, 11 years old, and oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule, and we wish you all the luck in the world, and we're going to be following your every move. Trust me.
All right. Sounds good.
We really appreciate you doing this, taking the time out of your day, man. Thanks a lot.
Man.
Thanks, Quinn.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Great job. Great job,
Thank
Steve.
you.
I'll definitely
tell all the Sullivans. Tell all the Sullivans that McGarry said hi.
All right, I will.
Take care, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
That was awesome.